Welcome to Mock the Mock, where I take a look at someone else's mock draft and I mock it, give you my views, thoughts, and opinions. And I got a great one for you today. We're going to be traveling to The Athletic and taking a look at Bruce Feldman's mock draft. He's got a new one out. And if you're unfamiliar with Bruce Feldman, he has one of the best reads every year when he releases his freaks list prior to the college football season. So I highly recommend you check him out. But today we're going to be checking out his mock draft. And this is going to be a little bit different because this is based on what he's hearing from the NFL, his intel, his sources. He's got his ear to NFL teams. So let's see what he's hearing. This isn't necessarily what his big board looks like. So I'm actually pretty excited for this one. I imagine number one won't shock us one bit, as it's Caleb Williams. It's basically cemented in stone. We've kind of already talked ad nauseum about why it's going to be Caleb Williams. So congratulations, Bears fans. I'm actually more intrigued with what's going to go on at pick 2. Oh man, excuse me. I got the hiccups. No. All right. Oh, we got Jaden Daniels going to the Commanders. Okay. So me personally, obviously, I have Drake May higher on my big board. I don't know what Bruce Feldman's big board looks like. Maybe he has JJ McCarthy. Maybe he has Drake May. Regardless, what he's hearing right now, as it stands, is Jaden Daniels. I know a lot of us like to connect the dots, be like, Cliff Kingsbury, the man coached Mahomes. Jaden Daniels, he was kind of a different animal this past season. Hard to defend, kind of feels like maybe he could be a Cliff Kingsbury guy. So that could be very, very true. It could be very true. And now this kind of opens Pandora's box. Is Drake May going to the Patriots? As it is indeed Drake May to the Patriots. So just like that, 3 quarterbacks off the board. I'm curious if this is going to include trades. So, ooh, watch out. Might. But yeah, I mean, the Patriots, I feel like they're in a good position. They could go quarterback. They could just send it with Marvin Harrison Jr. They could trade back. And honestly, all those feel like pretty solid options. All right, at pick 4, it is in fact a trade. So we got 4 quarterbacks going in the top 4. Back to back to back to back. JJ McCarthy. Everyone's kind of like already pinned that, hey, Minnesota Vikings, they're going to trade up. They're going to get McCarthy. The question is it going to be at 4? Is it going to be at 5? That's kind of where it's at. Is it going to be at 3? Oh, maybe. But yeah, JJ McCarthy. I mean, it feels like a good landing spot. They got Sam Darnold. You don't have to rush JJ McCarthy in right away. And he feels like a good fit for Kevin O'Connell. Okay, the draft starts here as the Chargers will likely take Marvin Harrison Jr. And that is exactly what happens. Marvin Harrison Jr. going to the Los Angeles Chargers. It really feels like Marvin Harrison's going at 4. He's going at 5. Maybe he goes at 3. But it feels like 4 or 5 is almost a guarantee. It really, and whoever doesn't get Marvin Harrison Jr. won't be making that selection. Either the Cardinals are trading out, either the Chargers are trading out. But this is a good fit, man. I like this. Adding him to that wide receiver core with you got Joshua Palmer, who I think is a really good 2, really good 3. You're hoping to get a good jump from Quentin Johnson. I'm not out on him yet, so hopefully you aren't either. Let's at least see what happens this next season before we're like, hey, he's a bust. Don't draft TCU wide receivers. All right, number 6. Are we going to see another? I feel like we're going to see another receiver. It's Rome Odunze opposed to Malik Neighbors. I'm going to try to skim through, see what we got here. Okay, so they'll have their choice between 2 studs in Odunze and Malik Neighbors. Both are dazzling, but after the draft, a Blazer from the SEC last year and Jalen Hyatt. The hunch is they go for a bigger, more physical Odunze. So again, there's some sense to be made there why they may fancy Odunze over Neighbors. Again, I mean, I have Malik Neighbors closer to Marvin Harrison Jr. than I do have Neighbors closer to Odunze, but like Odunze is, for me at least, a blue chip wide receiver prospect in this class. So it's not too far out of the realm of possibility. It really isn't. Now the question is, man, Titans got a choice. Do they go Neighbors or do they go Joe Alt? I feel like it's still Joe Alt. It has to be Joe Alt, right? It's Joe Alt. It just makes the most sense, man. They said, hey, Andre Dillard, you were bad last year. Get out of here. They gave Calvin Ridley all that money. So right now their left tackle spot is like, hey, we kind of need somebody. Honestly, they kind of need somebody at both tackle spots. So bringing in Joe Alt just feels like kind of the obvious option here. Atlanta Falcons is actually, I'd be tempted. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like the Falcons are in such a great position. Either a wide receiver falls to you, you take the top defensive player, whether that's a corner, whether that's an edge, or you could just trade down and get more picks. Like the Falcons are honestly in a really good position. Let's see. It's Dallas Turner, so Malik Neighbors will be probably going to the Chicago Bears. Falcons, edge, makes sense. They haven't really had a good edge rusher in what feels like a decade. They've made a lot of moves offensively, and now Raheem Morris is like, okay, we did all our offensive stuff during free agency. Let's do the defensive thing because, hey, I'm a defensive-minded coach, and let's get things done here. So, yeah, again, another pick that not out of the realm of possibility. But before we get to the Chicago Bears, if you want to know more about the draft prospects in this class, I got good news for you. I already evaluated over 400, maybe even close to 450 prospects in this class. And if you want access to all my knowledge on these prospects, check this out. Listen, I know you love the NFL draft as much as I do, and you're going to want a nice hefty watch list of players during this college football season. Well, go ahead, check out my draft guide. You can purchase it for only $30 by Venmoing or PayPaling me. Links in the description. It's a one-time payment and you get it for this whole draft cycle and forever and always. Technically, it's a Google spreadsheet. So send me your email when you send the payment. I'll get you hooked up. You will see my current prospect rankings and big board, my full evals. And guess what? It updates throughout the whole draft cycle. So it's a great purchase and it's a great way to support the channel. At number 9, the Chicago Bears go with Malik Neighbors. Surprise, surprise. They're kind of in a good spot, man. Like, oh, maybe one of those top 3 receivers will fall to us here at 9. Or you could take, if they do want to take an edge, honestly, if I'm the Bears, I'd probably just trade back then at that point because you only have 4 picks in the draft. So, I mean, to be able to hang, hey, who wants to come up and get Malik Neighbors? That's kind of sexy. You acquire more picks in this class and take more shots. But I mean, regardless, man, I feel like the Bears are also another team that's looking pretty at pick 9. At number 10, the Jets go with Brock Bowers. Oh no. Oh no. I'm going to see my least favorite troll in the comments section talking about how all these people are so stupid. But Brock Bowers makes so much sense for this type of team. A team that is looking for wins in now. They want to win now. So you're going to be probably looking for immediate playmakers, immediate impact players. And I'm not against them going with a tackle. Like, tackle would make sense. You don't really have a future tackle here in New York right now. And you got a Morgan Moses, a Tyron Smith who have been banged up. So maybe grabbing a little insurance there is kind of a smart option. But also at the same time, are you really going to use pick 10 on someone who's not going to take the field fairly early when you are in a win now Super Bowl window that might be honestly just 1, maybe at best 2 years wide? No, you're probably going to go for the immediate impact player, and that would be Brock Bowers. If you think you are set at tight end, you are sorely mistaken because you do not have a tight end on the roster to the level of Brock Bowers. Sorry, that's just the truth, brah. All right, pick 11. We got this is the Cardinals in their first pick. They go with Brian Thomas Jr., so they trade down, still get a receiver. And now you have pick 23, so you could go with the defensive end if you really want to. You could even stay at offense. I mean, shoot, they have pick 23 and pick 27, so they really have a lot of picks at their disposal at this point. But Brian Thomas, that'd be fun. Gets them a vertical target that they're kind of sorely missing right now. Brian Thomas, I think he would probably, if he decided to stay, he would be a top 10 player. So it makes sense. He's kind of now in this like lone tier of like, oh yeah, however you have the top 3 wide receivers, they're going to be ranked all kinds of different. But then it's Brian Thomas, and then it's the next tier. That's just kind of how this class is. All right, pick 12. Is it quarterback? No, it's Quinion Mitchell. All right, so I'm going to read this first part. He says, can the Broncos trade into the top 4? No, they can't. They can't. I'm not sold Denver will see Bo Nix or Michael Penix as the right fit at this spot. I really feel like Bo Nix is a Sean Payton guy, though. But at the same time, I feel better if they were to trade down and then select Bo Nix. That's kind of where I'm at. I can't imagine the Broncos dipping out of this class without taking a quarterback early. I don't get them going into the year and feeling like, okay, it's Jarrett Stidham. Like that feels like, oh, Sean Payton, you're just throwing at this point. But Quinion Mitchell's nice, man. You get that number 2 next to Pat Surtain. You got McMillan there in the slot, and that secondary is feeling hella sexy. Number 13, okay. He goes with Michael Penix here. Okay, straight up. If we're taking a quarterback at 13, that means the Broncos probably should take one at 12. I'm just saying. All right, I'm gonna read this real quick. The Raiders add Gardner Minshew to battle Aiden O'Connell, but I think Penix's arm talent, game, and makeup will be really tough to pass on at this point, like it was for the Broncos apparently, who are in a far worse situation. Like, listen, I don't get the Raiders going quarterback. Like, I think it'll maybe make more sense in the second round if like one of those guys are still available. Be like, okay, yeah, let's take our shot here. But at 13, I mean, why get Gardner Minshew? Why bring him in? If you were just gonna flirt with the idea of quarterback in the first round. To me, that just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. I mean, again, NFL draft, it's unpredictable sometimes. Pick 14, we got the Saints. This should be tackle. It is Talanoa Fuaga. It's definitely interesting. I do think they go maybe with a more left tackle option, like Troy Tanu or a Olu Fashanu. And just move Trevor Penning over to right tackle and kind of hope that Ryan Ramczak's A-okay and good to go. With Fuaga, you got a guy who's played on the right side his whole career. So to me, that kind of says, oh yeah, no, like Ryan Ramczak's like days are probably numbered. I'd rather just move Trevor Penning and try to feel good about that. That's kind of how I see it. I do like Fuaga, don't get me wrong, but again, I would go with the more left tackle option. Okay, we're now going to pick 15. The Colts, they go Terrion Arnold. Corner does sound like a very likely landing spot for the Colts. They could go a variety of different options. I think just adding more talent, competition, and depth to the cornerback position just makes the most sense. They did a lot on the defensive line in free agency. A lot of it was just bringing back their own players, but they did bring in some new guys there on the interior, like Raekwon Davis. Who else did they bring in? I'm gonna just pull that up real quick. But they brought in Davis. They then re-signed everybody. So I'm feeling like they're pretty content at edge, but it's not out of the realm of possibility because like Kwity Paye, Deo Odeyimbo are going to be free agents after this season. So I think edge could be on the table. I mean, you got Liatu Latu and Jared Verse still here. So I think that would make sense. But go addressing the cornerback room, because outside of Juju Brents, you have Jalen Jones and Dallas Flowers battling for cornerback too. Come on, you can do better. Seattle Seahawks. I would love a trade down here, but this is probably Troy Fautanu. Hey, it's Troy Fautanu. This is what everyone and their mom is doing for the Seahawks. If they can't find a trade down, you get Fautanu, you reunite him with his former OC and Ryan Grubb, and you play him at guard. It just feels kind of obvious at this point that that could be a route that they go. They have come out and said, hey, we want to address the offensive line in the draft. But then you look, okay, no second round pick. Are you really going to do that? You're probably going to do it via pick 16. Whether that means they trade down, acquire more picks, feels like that could be a likely option. But that would mean other guys to fall, or maybe a team that really wants to get in on this tackle class makes that jump up. So those are kind of the scenarios there for the Seattle Seahawks. But real quick, got to give a shout out to Underdog Fantasy. Thank you for being the sponsor of today's video. When you sign up using promo code Broshmo, they will double your first deposit up to $100 due. So if you use promo code Broshmo when you sign up, they will take that first deposit, whether it's $50 or whether it's $100, and they're going to be like, all right, we're going to double it. Now you have $100 or $200 to play with. They don't just do football, but they do basketball. Currently, they got the whole big tourney going on, so you can get in on the action for the Final Four. They do freaking e-gaming. They do all kinds of things. So if you want to pay to play, then don't forget, use promo code Broshmo when you sign up. But please bet responsibly, bet within your means. Pick 17, Jacksonville Jaguars. And I kind of honestly don't know where they're going to go from here. Oh, he's got more trades. Minnesota trades up to get Jared Verse. How did they do that? Hold on, what's Minnesota doing to move up? They don't have picks like that. Okay, hold on. Cornerback is a big need for the Jaguars, but with Mitchell and Arnold gone, the Jags opt for more picks and move down to 23. Wait, hold on. What did the Vikings give away to move all the way up to? The Vikings only give up? No, the Vikings would have to give up more than that. All right, hold on. We're backtracking. All right. What is this? All right. Does he mention the trade? He doesn't. I don't see him mentioning the trade here. He legitimately doesn't mention the trade. Like, any trade offer is gonna include pick 23. That freaking blows and boggles my mind. Like, the Vikings will not have the draft capital to move up. They just won't. Okay. Regardless, in this, he has the Vikings moving up and getting Jared Verse. So cool. They get Verse. They add more edge help. They did bring in Andrew Van Ginkel, Jonathan Grenard. They could definitely add a third guy to that rotation. I mean, to be fair, honestly, Van Ginkel's at his best as more of a rotational piece. Speaking as a Dolphins fan, hey, kind of know how Van Ginkel was best used. But okay, you got Byron Murphy going to the Bengals at pick 18. He says the signing of Trent Brown diminishes the need for an offensive lineman here. I don't think so much. I don't really think it does. Like, Trent Brown's on a 1-year deal. Like, I think this is kind of could be an obvious Amarius Mims spot where, or you can even make a case for JC Latham. Latham plays guard year 1 and then moves out to right tackle, or Mims where you could just, because Trent Brown doesn't play a full season. So you could have Mims kind of be the heir apparent, like, for sure, year 2 going to be the full-time starter at right tackle. But until then, you're going to develop him, and for whatever games Trent Brown misses, he will slot in. That's kind of more how I see it. But, I mean, I get it. They lost Reader. Who did they add on the interior? I know that they did bring in, Sheldon Rankins, which actually makes a ton of sense. It gets you a big-bodied dude. With Murphy, he's obviously not going to be a Reader replacement. You're just not going to use him that way because that Just doesn't make too much sense. All right, Latu going to the Rams. Just kind of perfect if the edge class like falls like this. If you can't get a corner, then you're probably going to have an edge available to you. Latu, someone who could honestly go as high as pick 8. Making it here at 19, feels like he's a top 20 prospect. You already have like the explosiveness and speed of Byron Young, and now you have the crafty technician that is Latu. Opposite of that, just feels really sexy, really desirable. All right, pick 20. We're gonna go with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Olu Fashanu. So you're gonna keep Broderick Jones at right tackle, which, I mean, that's in the cards. They can really go whatever tackle they want here, and it would make sense. Like, whether you're moving Broderick Jones to left tackle, which he did play at parts last year, or you're just keeping him at right tackle, go with Olu Fashanu. Like, either makes sense. All right, we got pick 21, Miami Dolphins going with Johnny Newton. We did lose Christian Wilkins. Honestly, I'm kind of like in on the Dolphins. Well, I would love, my number one pick here for the Dolphins is trade back. We have a first, we have a second, and then we won't see a pick until the 5th round. Let's grab more draft capital in this class and just move down. You can take Johnny Newton here, that's fine, and dandy and whatnot, to be kind of a replacement for Christian Wilkins, but I'd rather just get the more draft capital and kind of hope that Johnny Newton's there when we draft again, because I mean, you're not going to trade out of the 1st round, but maybe you could get one of these teams to move up and come get a guy. Maybe it's someone in this tackle class or something. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm cool with them addressing the trenches. But my number one thing is, hey, let's see if we can get a trade back. Philadelphia Eagles go with Nate Wiggins. They need cornerback help. They really do. If you're going to come out here and tell me, oh, this is a backup option, they have Darius Slay and James Bradbury. Why do you sound like an old man? Because the guys I listed are old men. Well, they were good in 2022 when Vic Fangio was in town. I don't know what type of accent, dialect, or whatever impersonation I'm doing at that point. But yeah, I don't care if Vic Fangio's back. Those guys are still getting older. You don't know what you have in Eli Ricks. You don't know what you have in Keely Ringo. Like, you've seen encouraging things from Ringo, but you might as well, again, it's the most volatile position in football. You had probably the 3rd worst secondary in football last season. It's foolish if you weren't going to consider a corner here. And Nate Wiggins gives them some necessary speed, honestly. All right, we got pick 23. This one is oh yeah, that's right. It's Jacksonville Jaguars. They move down. They get Kool-Aid McKinstry because, what do you mean via Pittsburgh? No, this was via Minnesota. I wonder if that doesn't make sense. Regardless, this was formerly Minnesota. But Jacksonville, they moved down. Listen, of course, not on the board. Then moving down, grab more picks. That's a good option. And then you get Kool-Aid McKinstry. I love Kool-Aid McKinstry. He's one of my guys in this class. Some people now have him as like an early to mid 2nd round pick. I'm not one of those guys. I still think he could be a top 20 prospect. I'd be willing to take him inside the top 20. Obviously, depending on who's on the board. It was nice to see him test out real well, despite having that Jones fracture, which he has now gotten surgery on, will be ready by training camp. So, do love McKinstry. All right, we got J.C. Latham going to the Green Bay Packers. To have this guy still available in the top 20 is a good break for the Green Bay Packers, which inches up to get him. What? Oh, they move up one spot? I mean, okay, listen. If you're the Packers and you have all this draft capital and you're like, we're going to move up. We're going to move up one spot. Feel like you're not really utilizing all that draft capital you have. I really don't. I mean, if you want to go and get your guy, then like go and get your guy. Move up more than one spot. JC Latham's interested. I feel like they're at least going to give Rashid Walker a go. He was really good down like the stretch for the Packers. They have Zach Tom. I know Zach Tom can play center, and Josh Myers ain't nothing special. But like Zach Tom's been really good at right tackle. I'm not sold on the Packers going tackle, and typically they don't go offensive line early in the draft, or at least they haven't in recent years. I don't know why they would. Why they would now when you feel like the offensive line honestly is fairly good for the Packers. I get it, Latham probably could end up playing guard early. They have an opening at, I believe it's right guard, where John Runyon used to be. Now he is there with the Giants. Oh yeah, they have Sean Ryan. I liked him coming out of UCLA. They also have Royce Newman, but you gotta feel like you could probably go and grab somebody. Like, honestly, Jackson Powers Johnson, have him play right guard early, and then when it comes to paying Josh Myers, be like, hey, kick rocks, bud. Catch you later. We'll move Jackson Powers Johnson to center, and then we'll just go out and get a new guard. Or maybe maybe you end up feeling good about like Sean Ryan taking that spot. But I think that's what I would rather do, because again, I feel good about their tackle spots. Like Rashid Walker was pretty solid down the stretch. I don't know. This is fascinating. Let's see what the I bet you I just mentioned Jackson Powers Johnson here for the Packers. Bet you he's gonna go for Dallas now at 25, who requires a pick or two for moving down one spot. But hey, real quick, what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below, where we had that nice, beautiful football discourse. Didn't mean to hit the mic. I'm so sorry. All right, Dallas Cowboys, Jackson Powers Johnson. Called it. Do we need to really say much? Tyler Biotish, he's gone. Yeah, go and grab your boy. Go and grab your new center. Makes a ton of sense. Chop Robinson going to the Buccaneers here at 26. They did just bring in Randy Gregory. Obviously not a long-term option. They have Joe Tryon there. They have Yaya Diaby, who really looked good at the back end of the season for the Bucs. So I don't feel like they necessarily have to go with an edge player. They can, but I mean, what other options could they go with? Honestly, like Graham Barden kind of feels sexy there. You come in, just put him in there at left guard. Because currently, they did just sign somebody, right? Oh yeah, they got Sua Opeta to play left guard. Ooh. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's not stopping me from taking like a Graham Barden. But now I am kind of looking at like, okay, maybe what other positions can I address? A lot of corners have come off the board. Safety class isn't nearly as good to take here at 26. You could almost say the same thing about the linebacker class. Like, honestly, if I'm the Bucs, maybe traded down feels kind of good. Yeah, and it's not like edge is out of the like realm of possibility. Like they're gonna have to decide this year what they want to do with Joe Tryon, but they might just tap into the 5th-year option, and then Randy Gregory's just a 1-year deal. So, like, yeah, edge is still definitely on the table here. Pick 27, Denver Broncos move up. They trade with Arizona. Dude, Arizona, you got shafted in this draft. You should have had pick 23. And then he has you trading out of 27. I'm so sorry. At least you got, who did y'all grab? Brian Thomas Jr. So Broncos move up to get Bo Nix. Again, what draft capital? Because they don't pick again until the 3rd round. The Broncos deal next year's 1st rounder to move up. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense. Figure that's kind of what it has to be. Because you're dealing next year's 1st rounder, assuming it's probably a late 1st rounder next year, thinking, hey, you're probably going to be really competitive if you go and move up for a quarterback. Like, I honestly kind of like that. I don't mind it one bit. But Broncos get Bo Nix. They grabbed their guy. Look, I'm glad it happened in this draft. I was complaining about it earlier after Michael Penix went off the board at 13. Was like, yo, guys, if you're willing to take Penix at 13, you should be willing to take quarterback at 12. All right. Pick 28, Buffalo Bills, Adonai Mitchell. Gabe Davis is gone. Stephon Diggs is gone. They ate a lot of dead cap with that. But yeah, you're probably going to be looking for a crafty route runner, and Adonai Mitchell kind of fits the bill for the Bills. I'm so punny. I'm so punny. I think also guys maybe like a Lad McConkey, Ricky Pearsall. Those are probably, they're going to be looking for, like, you're going to be having to replace a very crafty route runner in Stephon Diggs. You're probably going to want to replace him with another crafty route runner. And I mean, those crafty route runners have really good vertical ability too. All right, we got 29. This is not the Ravens, the Lions. They go Cooper DeJean. I actually really like Cooper DeJean here for the Lions. They played a lot more like zone off coverage than they did prior years. So they're definitely opening up the playbook and showing some scheme diversity when it comes to what they do coverage wise. So grabbing Cooper DeJean, who's pretty much a scheme versatile player, who could play in the slot, play safety. He's not going to do that here. He's playing outside. I like it because I see Cooper DeJean as an outside corner in the NFL. Okay, we got the Ravens going with Tyler Guyton. I mean, if he makes it here, yeah, that feels right. You don't have to start him early. He could be the heir apparent to Ronnie Stanley, or if Daniel Falele is just crap in the bed, you could be like, all right, Guyton, you're in. Go for it. Send it. Makes sense. They did have a private workout with Jordan Morgan, but I mean, again, if like plans change, if players are available when you're picking that you weren't expected to be available. Niners, please show me Graham Barden. Oh, I forgot Amarius Mims was still on the board. Golly, this tackle class did fall. Yeah, no, I was saying Graham Barden, but makes more sense with Amarius Mims on the board. Get that heir apparent. For Trent Williams, he will be 36 this season, so you're gonna be looking for the long-term option. And Amarius Mims, there isn't a guy with a higher ceiling in this class. Kansas City Chiefs. I was gonna say, show me a quarterback. You got the Chiefs moving back. Philadelphia, which has 2 second-rounders and 3 fifth-rounders, trades with the Chiefs. Slide up at the end of the first round. I imagine they're not giving all that up, but I don't know. We'll see. So Eagles move up to get Graham Barden for what reason? Like, I mean, I get it if you're uncomfortable with Tyler. Oh, this is probably center. You're probably going to then at this point stick with Cam Jurgens at right guard, because he was actually pretty darn good at right guard. And instead, you're going to have Tyler Steen as more of a depth option, and then you're going to just stick Graham Barden at center. Okay. I think that's the most likely scenario, rather than just having Graham Barden play right guard. I think you're just going to keep Jurgens there. Okay, I like that. That's kind of fun. Okay, let's go. Let's go. That's kind of a fun option for the Eagles. Let's see. We do have the Panthers pick. They go Xavier Worthy. I think a wide receiver is just so likely at 33. I mean, you're gonna be just staring down the barrel of a ton of wide receivers. Do you want size and speed? Go Xavier Leggett. If you want just speed and separation ability after the catch ability, Xavier Worthy. If you're looking for a consistent route to route separator, you got Ricky Pearsall. I mean, shoot, man, what other receivers are currently on the board here? Like, there's a ton. Lad McConkey, Keon Coleman. Oh, thank goodness he lists them out here for me. Roman Wilson, Troy Franklin, Malachi Corley. Literally, the world is your oyster. So shuck it and get a wide receiver. We will have the Browns here because he's doing the teams without first round picks. Oh, first is the Texans. I forgot. Edwin Cooper. Now that they got Stephon Diggs, grabbing a linebacker here feels good. You're going to be wanting to look for, if you're D'Amico Ryans, you want a Fred Warner, right? You're a former linebacker. You saw the come up of Fred Warner. You're like, give me speed, give me length. Edwin Cooper, you are speed, you are length. Let's develop you. It just feels right. Browns. I feel like Browns could go with a linebacker as well. I do forget Kansas City moved out. So they acquired this via trade. They moved down a ton. But they get Malachi Corley. It's basically like, hey, what this pick says to me is like, hey, Sky Moore didn't work out. Let's go find that after the catch target. That's Malachi Corley. Okay, are we finally at the Browns? We're at the Browns. They go Ladd McConkey, which tells me, hey, Elijah Moore, you're gonna be getting it up on out of here. Well, shoot, dude. I mean, I wouldn't mind. Like, Jerry Jeudy, you're probably gonna use a ton of the slot as well. So I mean, okay, I don't mind. Like, Ladd McConkey comes in, he can work outside, he can work inside as well. I would like maybe more definite boundary options than like Jerry Jeudy, Ladd McConkey, Elijah Moore. They do have Cedric Tillman play a lot of snaps last year. I don't know, could be interesting, but hey, man, this is a good wide receiver class. If wide receivers fall, I don't think you're just gonna sit there and be like, well, we don't really need a wide receiver. You're gonna be like, that's a really good player. Let's go ahead and take him. But hey, man, that's it for the mock. I always give it an awesome. I appreciate people's work. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you want more draft content, check out my final position rankings for the 2024 NFL draft class. I'll leave those videos down there. I'm going to be coming out with safeties later today. Be on the look for that. But as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.